Okay, this is game 4 of GraceG versus MInionpawn. You've got inheritance, we've got exploration, we've got boons. Trashing here is Ratcatcher Mint. And altar as well, and treasure. So a lot of different ways to trash. Not clear how much you want to trash. Also goat, since they're starting with pixie. Lots of ways to trash. You maybe don't even need to do that much trashing, other than you may want to get an altar, because altar is a nice card. But I think you do want to try to get to inheritance somehow. I think it's probably worth it to trash a copper, an estate or two along the way. Build yourself up to that. I think an early exploration makes sense. Lets you get some extra action, lets you get the extra coffer. You want to try to get yourself a 5 to get treasure. Treasure is probably the best way to get to 7 to hit inheritance. Then you can figure out what you want to inherit. I would probably inherit Patron or Menagerie. I think either of those are fine to inherit. I think those are the only two I would consider. Inheritance does not work on pixies, or rat catchers, and caravan guards not particularly inspiring. So I think I would open something like Patron Silver, or maybe Exploration Silver seems reasonable. If I get, I'll probably trash one estate along the way. Maybe try to not trash anymore, although that's tough to get to work out. The other thing to note here is until you get up to altar and gain things with altar, and maybe that's what you want to do. You want to be gaining things with altar, because otherwise you're just building up a deck that provinces and getting 8 provinces, getting 8 money and buying provinces every other turn. So this is a good turn for MInionpawn. We'll look and see what Grace is able to do here on 3. So Grace already has the treasurer, silver exploration treasurer. I think a silver here seems fine to me. Pixie also seems fine. So MInionpawn here can take the key and inherit something. They're not going to inherit. They're just going to get to 5. I definitely would have inherited something there. Or they may have trashed all their estates already, so maybe it doesn't matter. Now they should have one estate left in the deck. Oh no, they got the Flames gift. They were able to trash all their estates really quickly. So what MInionpawn's doing is going for the small deck, treasure. You can get some mystics and patrons, and just start getting provinces. Grace has gotten a mystic, so they can sort of pick between either of those two choices. Again, here you keep trashing, I think, and can either pick up more mystics, more patrons. All those are decent cards to add to this deck. I don't think Mint gets any play here. You can add pixies. You can also add caravan guards somewhat with impunity. Those don't slow you down or affect you in any way. If you happen to have an extra 3, better than silver. And Grace gets another mystic. So the mystic stack is tough, I think. Probably you don't want to take that. I'd rather get the trash in and get to a very, very small deck that can province many turns in a row. The gold makes it tough to see all your cards every turn, even though it's worth more money than the mystics are. And it doesn't require an action to play. So Grace gets the field gift. Field gift is plus coins. That's quite nice. Again, I would consider inheriting menageries here. Or patrons. That extra 2 points from having 2 estates in your deck could matter, especially because it seems like they're both pretty close to just provincing every turn for the rest of the game. If you've got a 2-point lead and 2 extra nice cards, that could be Patron or Menagerie, you could win the game by just 2 points by just trading provinces every turn. And Grace went with Inheritance, yeah. So I think that's reasonable. Menagerie is not going to fire too often once you have 2 provinces. And here, Minion Pawn can just take the key and trash down and start buying provinces. The nice part about having the Pixie that Grace has is you can save that Pixie for a rainy day, as it were. You can save it until you get Forest's Gift or Earth's Gift, the two gaining gifts. If you get Earth's Gift, you can discard 2 cards to gain 2 treasures to gain 2 cards. Estates, for example, if you get Forest's Gift, you could buy Double Duchy, which Minion Pawn's never going to have the ability to do Double Duchy the rest of this game, unfortunately. So in Mystic, you play 2, you get to draw 1 card, which is nice. But soon the deck's going to have enough provinces in it. I think this deck can support 3 provinces fairly easily, probably 4. The 5th one's going to be a little bit tough. River's Gift is probably not worth it at this point. Grace pausing here a second. I think you just take the key back. Copper's not the worst card in your deck. It's slightly annoying that you still have it, but so we'll see. Minion Pawn's able to get province here as well. You can be a little bit crazy here and trash this gold. It's not super crazy to trash the gold. You're getting to 9 without it. Yep, Swamp's Gift not quite what you want to see. I assume you wish for something. Okay, wished for estate seems reasonable. Again, Grace going to be able to province now. So now Minion Pawn's got a tough decision. They're in Duchy Dancing territory. Their deck's a little bit thinner, but Grace has 2 extra points and the Pixie still, and the Pixie can do interesting things. Another reason I think probably I wouldn't have gotten the gold is Minion Pawn is saving that Pixie for one of the top gifts. They revealed the treasure on top and left it there. Well, makes sense. And so, Grace able to easily trash the copper there and hit the 5. Problem for... so Minion Pawn's advantage is that their deck is thinner, so it's easier for them to hit 8 again after they've emptied the duchies. The problem... And then, so Grace has a little bit bigger deck. The problem is that, Minion Pawn essentially is just going to run the duchies all the way down to 0, and their deck's also going to fall apart. And Grace does have the Pixie still and the extra patrons, so this is very close still. I think both players seem to understand this concept of Duchy Dancing. If you've ever wondered what we mean when we say Duchy Dancing, this is it. They're both hitting 8, and they're just buying duchies, because they know if they buy a province, their opponent could buy the province. And so in this kind of situation, it's quite important to track your opponent's deck and see what they're doing. Figure out if they have a really big turn or they have a bunch of good cards. Then maybe you risk buying the province thinking that they're not going to get it next turn. It's also then important, as you've seen Minion Pawn do a couple of times, is they've had a Mystic in hand and not played it at all. And unfortunately, they do have to trigger this shuffle here without 2 of their 4 good cards. Luckily, they top decked a Mystic. So this is a spot where Grace can see, I know what those 6 cards are. Mystic, Gold, Province, Duchy, I think. So I don't think Minion Pawn can hit Province next turn. However, Grace couldn't hit Province that turn either, so it didn't matter as much. This is tough. I'm not quite sure what Minion Pawn does. I think Minion Pawn may need to start buying estates. The problem is Grace is happy to buy estates because estates are patrons for Grace. For Minion Pawn, they are just dead cards. So you might even, as Minion Pawn, just buy the province here and say, I'm not going to be able to win without that. And we'll see. It looks like Grace has it in hand. The Treasurer can also gain a copper out of the trash. So it looks like Grace is going to win this game. The little bit delayed trashing with the goat, maybe because of the plan for exploration, but and they had the coffer on the mat, so I think all the balls were in, all the advantages were to Grace there, and they were able to convert quite nicely. So good game for Grace. I'll see you in game 5.